Hello everyone, how you doing? Stomp Gamer here. Today we're going to review some ground vehicles for great science and entertainment. So first off we're going to take a look at the Anvil Ballista. In this case the Snowblind edition. And we're going to do so on yellow because it's a low gravity planet, it's cold, and it's dark. So entertainment. Come watch Stompar crash into everything. So again, the Ballista is the basically surface-to-air missile launcher vehicle. It's got some gun. Whoop! Oh, that's. Don't stand in front of the door. It's got some guns. It's got everything you might need for your anti-ship. Okay, closed door. Open door. Note to self: do not stand in front of the door you're opening. Closed door. Closed door. Let's go and get this baby powered up. Now that we got it powered up, you can see the interior is pretty sparse, like you would expect. But you've got in the back, you've got your missile launcher area, so the gunner seat. Which is a remote turret. Should be neat to try out. So let's go ahead and get out of the seat. Let me out. Let's drive off the pad. That'll get us to the driving part of today's entertainment. Now this brings us to my first point of driving a ground vehicle in Star Citizen. Seeing where you're going. Isn't this a fun experience? Oh, this is interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, our Anvil Ballista. What else could you ask for as far as entertainment? What exactly have we climbed up on? Apparently there's an invisible ledge here. Very, I'm not sure what words to use to describe this. The low gravity? There's just too much. Oh. This is broken. First off, you really need a way to dim the lights on the interior, because this is very hard to see where you're going. Are we actually moving? So apparently this is the top speed in low gravity for a ballista, because otherwise the front comes off the ground. And the back. So apparently they didn't have this problem on the moon because CIG did not design the lunar rover. So basically as we accelerate, the nose comes off the ground because it's rear-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive. And we get some hilarious hijinks as we try to move. And of course, like I said, one of the other issues is really the only way to steer a ground vehicle is for the exterior view. Because interior, especially at night in a situation like this, you really can't see where you're going. Not very easily. Close the chat here. Someone says most of us deserve to die. Let's see if we can use the missiles yet, but I doubt we're far enough outside of the armistice zone. Yep, not far enough out. We've barely gone anywhere. Let's try another vehicle. Again, so the Anvil Ballista is pretty neat when you can drive it. But let's see if you can drive another vehicle in low gravity. We'll try... We'll try the Knox. And again, I'm wearing the cold weather armor, because otherwise I would be dead in like 10 minutes. Which is why I do not like the rock, because you're out trying to mine in these kind of conditions, and then you're dead. Alright. Let's summon another vehicle. The Knox Q. Let's see how she's doing in this current patch. Last time I tried the Knox, it just stayed on its side and you really couldn't drive it at all. So a vehicle like this should do just fine. Oh, there it is on its side. But in theory, grav-lev vehicles should do just fine in zero gravity. Alright, so now we're laying on our side. Powered on. Alright, we're right side up. Ish. So at least we can kind of drive it. Alright, good. So we do have some headlights, so there's our ballista there. But yet we're still kind of... really doesn't want to stay level very much. And we definitely kind of cruise higher. So you hit a little bump, and then we're on our side. Let's get an exterior view of this. So we can see the silliness a little bit better. Yeah. Ground vehicles. So this is, again, keep in mind the racing vehicle for the Knox. It is doing a little bit better of staying mostly upright, so that's a plus. You hit any little rock and you're spinning like a top. Let's see, can you just lift off? No. Alright, let's try to get back to the base. We'll try something else. As I say, try to get back to the base. So that was a big rock. Are we airborne now? No. So again, this will fly in space, so that's kind of neat. But on the ground, you're just kind of bouncing along. So basically, it's designed like a ship as far as the HUD on the inside. Alright, so now are we up? Are we going to stay up? Or are we going to come back down? We're going to come back down. This might hurt. Yep, something got destroyed. At least we are able to steer it a little bit better. But again, you know, survival estimate dropping by the minute. Literally. Whee! And she's hovering pretty high up, so if you get off your bike, you're not getting back in. Let's head inside before we die. And again, I'm using the cold weather armor right now. Let's try another closed canopy vehicle and see if it has the same issue we had in the other one. We'll try the URSA Rover and see if it has another issue where in low gravity the front just comes off the ground whenever you hit forward. There's the URSA Rover. And again, that comes with the Constellation. It also comes with the Carrack, because for some reason Anvil's using an RSI rover for right now. In theory, we're going to get an actual Anvil rover, I hope. So again, the benefit of closed canopy vehicles is you get protection from the elements, which in my opinion is a huge bonus. And again, we see the same thing where the vehicles are very much set up and designed like a spaceship. You know, yeah, you have a steering wheel, but for the most part, there is no difference between them and anything else that you may fly. See, now the rover, the URSA Rover does not have the same issues we're seeing in the Ballista. It's doing just fine at low gravity. But again, you still kind of have that same issue with driving where it's pretty hard to see where you're going because as you're coming out here, your visibility is very limited. The free look works, which is nice. So you are able to kind of get some situational awareness as you steer. And I'm definitely looking forward to a way to moderate your throttle when you're driving with keyboard and mouse because it's basically no throttle, full throttle, no throttle, full throttle. So far out of ground vehicles, I'd definitely say URSA Rover is the best. The Knox is fun, but it's just silly. Oof. And pretty hard to control. The URSA you can at least control a little bit and see where you're going. And again, you have protection from the elements. This is purely for the purposes of getting around, not from a combat perspective, because there really isn't any ground combat available. You can, but it's kind of very limited. Basically outpost raids. So again, if you're trying to get this on a rover, or actually any good steering third-person view is definitely much better than first-person, which is annoying because most of us drive cars in first person, I believe. all or nothing throttle is pretty annoying. But again, the URSA is pretty handy on the interior because, one, you can carry a couple people, two, you got a little bit of storage area here if you need to run boxes, etc. And you can, of course, leave out the back. Go, go, go! Alright. We'll head back in and we'll try another ground vehicle real quick. Again, this is just for science. Just trying them out, and I wanted to go somewhere that's low gravity and extreme weather just to kind of highlight which is better. And in my opinion, I think we can all clearly see if you got a closed canopy, you're going to live. If you've got an open canopy, you better not be going far, which defeats, in my opinion, the entire point of a ground vehicle. So now we'll try a Cyclone. Gray Cat Buggy. Yes, we'll try you later. Where's this Cyclone? There we go. We'll try the Cyclone with the EMP for reasons. For great science, as they say. Again, I am home right now. It's just kind of early in the morning, so I'm just putzing around and playing. We do have the expo coming up near the end of the month. I do have 2 trips that are scheduled, unfortunately, during the expo. So I'll be attempting to do videos of the floors of the expo and fly the free-to-fly ships, etc., just to kind of show everyone around. But I'll be doing so using my cell phone as a hotspot from a hotel room on a laptop using a portable headset. So we'll see how that works out. Don't hold your breath. We'll see. So here we are on the Tumbler, which is usually pretty fun to drive. A little bit faster than the URSA, and still controllable, as you can see. But you're open canopy, so you got your little timer ticking down to your death on the bottom left there. Now, using the Pembroke armor, I got a good bit of time, but it's still ticking down. And again, it's that same kind of ground vehicle issue where you're driving along, you think you're on good terrain, and next thing you know, there's a rock in front of you. Which makes it pretty hard to maneuver and traverse terrain. Which makes sense. I mean, these aren't roads, but visibility is what's lacking. If you go third person again, you get better visibility and it's easier to drive, but I'm not sure third person's supposed to be sticking around. I was pretty sure Chris Roberts was saying that eventually that's going to go away. He doesn't want us playing like this, third person, but we'll see. There's the design intent, and then there's the reality. So you can really see the suspension travel on the Cyclone. It's pretty crazy. I mean, look at that. Space dune buggy. We're down to 40 minutes of life. Yeah, definitely. So the Cyclone is definitely... Ooh! Those went right through those rocks. It's a fun vehicle to fly. And notice I say fly because the cockpit is still set up more like you would expect from a spaceship. It's really hard to see when the sun is coming up on yellow, doesn't it? Ooh, there we go. The problem is when you drive third person, you can't really see. You lose the markers of like where ships are and destinations are, etc. Yes, for science, we're testing the ground vehicles. Alright. Full speed to the parking destination. What did we just hit that stopped? Okay, so we just hit something in the terrain that stopped us, like a rock? Something on the ground, or maybe collision with this outpost. Can we get out of the vehicle? Yes, we can. Alright, we're down to 45 minutes. I'm not sure what we hit, but rip Tumbler Cyclone. So far, I would say it's the more fun ground vehicle to drive, but again, in nice planets where you don't have to worry about freezing or burning to death. Let's bring out the old Grey Cat buggy. I think just about everyone's driven a Grey Cat buggy and knows what to expect. But, again, for science. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Where is the Grey Cat buggy today? Moonhopper says the Cyclone is stuck on a pole. Let's take a look here. Just littering ground vehicles everywhere. I love it. Oh, look at that. Nope, nope, that's not a pole. Ah, there it is. Ha ha! Sticking up through the wheel. So we hit a pole that is indestructible. Good catch there, Moonhopper. Alright, so now we're getting the good old Grey Cat buggy. And again, this is mostly intended for getting around large hangars, something I guess you would use around a spaceport. Poor armor freezing. And again, this is an open canopy vehicle, so you have to worry about your time and the elements. I don't know. I gotta say the Grey Cat buggy is doing just as good as the Cyclone as far as traversing the terrain. Again, this is a lower gravity moon.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Grey Cat buggy, the poor man's tumbler. And really the only thing the tumbler has over the Grey Cat so far is the fact that the tumbler has cooler looks and can carry a little bit more, as in one SCU. But the buggy's doing just fine. Whee! So it's definitely slower than the Cyclone. But otherwise, it has no issues. Fun to drive. Look at my poor guy freezing in his armor. This is the way. Yep, so I'd say that the Grey Cat buggy is pretty handy for what it is. Alright, let's go see if we can slam it into the Cyclone and get the Cyclone off the pole. Nope. Man, I don't know what they make these poles out of, but they are impressive. Oh, now this Cyclone was almost falling into the earth. Alright, last ground vehicle we're going to test. And that would be the Drake. I'm trying to remember the name of it. We'll see it here. It's not the Knox, it's the other hover bike. Dragonfly, that's what we're testing. So eventually we're going to have the Origin rover coming out, which is going to be a closed canopy, so I'm looking forward to seeing those. In case you can't tell, so far I'm heavily leaning towards a closed canopy. I find anything that's open canopy, they tend to be fun, but utility-wise, you know, you have to worry about your oxygen, you have to worry about the temperatures. It definitely puts a limit on your enjoyment of being exploring on a ground vehicle. Which supposedly we're using ground vehicles in situations where it doesn't make sense to fly because of weather or whatever, visibility. Alright, so here we are on the Dragonfly. Let's see if it's better than the Knox. Initial impression is drastically better than the Knox. Whereas the Knox, every time you flew over a tiny little rock, you were getting spun into the air and bouncing all over the place. Well, I spoke too soon, perhaps. But so far, I'm still saying that the Dragonfly is better. Pretty good controllability. It's maybe not as fast as the Knox Q, but scatter guns. But I'm not having any real issues with traveling with this vehicle. Again, other than the fact that, whoop, I may or may not be dying from the temperature. She handles just fine. Even sounds kind of cool. I'll be quiet so you can hear it. Crater. Oh, handles just fine till you hit a big rock inside of a crater. Well, I'm glad that was the last vehicle we were testing. 'Cause I'm dead now. He's dead, Jim. And still apparently frozen even though I've just revived inside a Grim Hex. And that was a hard death because I'm stuck in the bed. There we go. Let me up. Yep, still frozen. Slowly defrosting. Alright, that's it for the video. And again, kind of what we were talking about earlier is it's fun to play around with ground vehicles, but there's not much use for them yet. Eventually, we're supposed to be using them a lot more. I highly recommend not purchasing ground vehicles with real money. Purchase them in game. They're dirt cheap in game. And I am highly leaning towards, and I'm sure most people are as well, the closed canopy, the URSA, the the snow blind. Apparently, as we just saw, it doesn't work very well in low grav. It works fine in regular gravity planets, but in low grav, the nose pops off the ground the second you try to move, which is silly, but it is usable at least. So again, thanks for the view. Hope you guys enjoyed the short little video. Like I said, during the expo, I plan to be on every single day and do a view of the expo in case you guys didn't get a chance to see it. So you can see what's available on display and look at the ships that they've got up there. And then we'll try to, again, play around with everything. Hope you guys have a great day. Good morning. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And Grim Hex is always entertaining when you wake up. You got people who think that they are tough individuals. Alright, everyone.